Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. If you haven't checked out the last two rounds, go back, go check them out. Both the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix have been absolutely fantastic and well worth checking out. As you can see, last time out in Saudi Arabia, we won the Grand Prix after a very unpredictable race. We started very far down the field, and then after a mechanical issue for Max Verstappen, we were able to come back and brilliantly win the race by taking several cars in one position. It was a brilliant race and well worth your time going back and checking out. Here in Melbourne though, we're going to dive straight into qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix. And as you can see, we are still the fastest car in F1. So we should be looking to try and get ourselves on the front row, or at least do a lot better than we did in Saudi Arabia, which shouldn't be difficult given we qualified down in P16 there. We should at least be looking for a top 10 start here today in Melbourne. So this was our first run in qualifying, and as you can see, we had a decent-ish first sector. We took it a little bit steady, we lifted off ever so slightly there, so yeah, there's definitely time to find, but this first run is very much a banker run. And you can see now as we come to the end of the first lap, Charles Leclerc sets a 118.3. What are we going to be able to do now? Is we go around the final corner, use the DRS, and it's a run to the line, and we're going to set a 119.629. We definitely can improve from there. So we're going to go now to the end of qualifying. We did a middle run, we did a 118 point something. So we did improve quite massively for the second run, but now on the third and final run, you can see this is where we're going to be giving it absolutely everything. We're going to be braking as late as possible, and we're going to be fully committed around these corners. Last time off we had a big lift, this time we had an ever so slight lift, and now through the end of sector 1, as you can see, we are a 10th under our previous lap, and we're a 10th and a half up on Sergio Perez. And now this run here through this far section, fully changed from what it used to be. There used to be a chicane, but that chicane has now been taken out, and now it's a long run to the far chicane, where we're going to sweep in for a left-right. And through the chicane we go. It's a very fast chicane. We're a 10th and a half still up on Sergio Perez. So as of right now, we are looking for a P9, maybe even a P8 or even P7 starts here in Melbourne. It's definitely going to be an improvement from where we were in Saudi Arabia. But the question is where are we going to be now? Through these final few corners, into the final left-hander before the right for a run to the line. We're going to be 2 tenths up, it looks like. Maybe a 10th and a half, actually, a 10th and a half up to the line. Where are we going to be? It's only P10 for Australia.
Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne for what no doubt will be an intense day of racing. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.28 miles around, with the streets making for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 14 corners around the lake, with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Alain Prost yesterday gives him pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, and Perez. Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, and Esteban Ocon. Bennett, Schwartzman, Kevin Magnussen, and Gasly. Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Guan Yu Zhou, and Lance Stroll. Albon, Théo Pourchaire, Latifi, and Oscar Piastri. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
So it's P11 for us here in Australia, and as you can see today, we're going to go for the 2-stop strategy once again, soft to mediums to hard. Pretty simple strategy for this Grand Prix, and now we are waiting on those 5 red lights, and when they go out, the Australian Grand Prix for Season 3 will be underway. It's lights out, and away we go. We get off to a very good start, actually. We don't lose any places off the line, which is very rare for us. So it's a good start from us. Into turn 1, we're going to look to go down the inside of Fernando Alonso. Can we make it stick? No, we can't. We actually lose a position there in turn 1 to Kevin Magnussen. But surely on the run down now to turn 3, we're going to have the inside line. And we do. We go through past Kevin Magnussen. Are we going to get Fernando Alonso as well? No, we're going to slot in behind Fernando Alonso. So it was a good start for us. We didn't lose any places, but sadly for us, we didn't actually gain any places as well. So it's P11 for us off the line, and we have to try and find a way past these guys as quickly as possible. We are much faster than them, and as you can see on the minimap, we have a McLaren and a Pulse Motorsport car pulling away already. That's Lando Norris leading the Grand Prix from Alain Prost in second place, and we've just got to tuck in behind Fernando Alonso, but going into the chicane, down the inside, past Fernando Alonso, through we go, and that is us now, up to P10, a beautiful move there, down the inside on Alonso. He just about gave us the space, and then down the inside into the right-hander. Can we get Esteban Ocon? Yes, we can. Through we go past Ocon, and that is us up to 9th place, and Tsunoda is out of the Grand Prix, and the virtual safety car has been deployed after the first lap. So let's take a look on the replay. What happened then to Yuki Tsunoda? He's trying to go down the inside there on the Alfa Romeo, and he just smashed into the back of him, and that is the end of the Grand Prix for Yuki Tsunoda. He is out. We have an Aston Martin in the pits as well. That could be Zhou Guanyu or Lance Stroll. One of those two has damaged their front wing. I have a feeling they probably got caught up in the incident with Yuki Tsunoda and the Alfa Romeo. I believe it was Teo Pourchaire. So yeah, that is a disastrous start to the race for Tsunoda. He's out. We have an Aston Martin in the pits as well. So yeah, a bit of a disaster for those guys. But we are now back underway. And as you can see, Sergio Perez in front of us is on the mediums.
They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. We think they've got 1 more stop. The last lap time was 1 minute 32.0.
So Sergio Perez there is on the one-stop strategy. Now that's interesting because both Perez and Verstappen are on the medium compound tyres, and both of those guys are on a one-stop. So that means they're going to go from the mediums to the hard compound tyres. Now I didn't think we'd see many one-stops this season, but I'm very surprised that we're going to see one today. A one-stop strategy for these guys, and we just see that there's been a big incident. Big incident in front, and the virtual safety cars once again being deployed. And Alonso, look at this, Alonso, he just took the position from us. So we're going to try and go back down the inside, but no, we've got to slot in behind Alonso. So Ricciardo there had an incident with Hamilton as we get the race back underway. Alonso found a way past us, but on the restart, as you can see, a lot of cars tucked up behind Daniel Ricciardo, who has no front wing. And on the restart, we're able to get past both Alonso, Perez, Hamilton, and Daniel Ricciardo, as they were all tucked up behind Ricciardo without a front wing. And you can see here, there's Max Verstappen in front of us. Verstappen is also on the one-stop strategy, just like his teammate Sergio Perez. So Verstappen is in a very good position here to win this Australian Grand Prix, because we're all on 2 stops and he is on the 1 stop. However, given how many safety cars there's already been, we've seen 2 VSCs. You know, there could be any full course cautions as well at any point during this Grand Prix, and that could ruin Max Verstappen's one-stop strategy attempt. You can see here, we go to lap number 6. We have to stay out 1 extra lap because our teammate has come in early for a set of mediums. And as you can see, by the end of lap number 6, as we dive into the pits, look at those rear tyres on the softs, 83% on the rear left. They were absolutely cooked by the end of this. So we box now to get off those softs and get onto a set of the medium compound tyres. As we go now onto the mediums, they shouldn't do us for this middle stint in this Grand Prix. Hopefully we are going to be able to get a good stint out of those medium tyres. Hamilton, who was behind us, he did pit before us, and Hamilton, is he going to be able to get past us? No, Hamilton's just got to slot in behind us, and thankfully we've got the ERS to be able to defend there from Lewis Hamilton as we go to lap number 8. And look at this now, the safety car's been deployed. So we have multiple stop vehicles on circuit, and now we have a safety car which has been deployed. That's Pierre Gasly, who's out of the Grand Prix. So let's take a look here. We've got Nicholas Latifi, who is out of the Grand Prix. He's pulled up, he's parked up. And now, yes, there's Pierre Gasly. He has a power unit failure, so that's 2 cars who have pulled over. And because of that, the safety car's been deployed here in Australia. Let's take a look at this then. Sergio Perez, he's dived into the pits. Sergio Perez is changing up the strategy. He's going from the 1-stop to the 2-stop as off go the mediums. An ongoing set of soft compound tyres for Sergio Perez, but he has to slot in now behind us in this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, he's had to stay out. So Max Verstappen, he got caught up behind the safety car, and Max Verstappen, he couldn't convert his 1-stop to a 2-stop, so he is now on a 2-stop maybe, or maybe he's still on a 1-stop but on very used medium tyres, and that advantage that Max Verstappen had in this Grand Prix has been wiped away, and now on very used tyres he has everyone right behind him. So that 1-stop attempt, I feel, is going to backfire for Max Verstappen as the race gets back underway. Sergio Perez had committed to the 2-stop now, and it's going to be interesting now to see if Sergio Perez can beat Max Verstappen in this Grand Prix. I have a feeling he might very well do that. As we go to the end of lap 11, and look at this, Max Verstappen's come into the pits. Off go the mediums, and on go a set of soft tyres for Max Verstappen, so he has changed his mind. He's gone from the 1 to the 2-stop, and that means that this is all backfired nasty for Max Verstappen, because he's now had to go to the 2-stop strategy to go to the end of lap 13. And you can see we're running wide there, and that's giving Sergio Perez an opportunity. Perez on those soft tyres, he's going to have the inside line. Can he do anything with it? No, he can't. He's going to have to slot in behind us, but he's got the DRS now. And Sergio Perez with the soft tyres, he goes down the inside on us, takes the position. We pretty much give him the position as well. There's no point fighting Perez. He's on those softs. He's much faster than us. So we pretty much let Perez go there, down the inside. He takes the position from us. Hamilton there was looking to try and take the position as well. But for us now, it's just a matter of trying to stick with Sergio Perez, because he's on the soft tyres. And whilst he's on the soft, we just need to try and stick with him. And you can see now as we go to the end of lap number 14, we are still sticking with Sergio Perez in this Grand Prix. And we are going to get the DRS, and that's what we want. We want the DRS because we want Perez to pretty much just tow us along in this Grand Prix, and that is exactly what he's going to do here. He's just going to tow us along very nicely, which is exactly what we want. So Perez doing God's work, but then he locks up. Perez, he was doing God's work, but then he locked up going into turn 1, and that means he's just had to sacrifice a position to us. And back through we go, back past Perez, but then we lock up for good measure going into turn 3. Run a little bit deep, but that's with that. Now we go to the end of lap 16, and into the pits we come for the second stop in the Grand Prix. It's going to be to go from the mediums to the hard tyres, which will take us to the end of this Grand Prix. And guys, if you are enjoying this video, please do drop a like down below and subscribe for more F1 content. I still got a lot of F1 content to bring your guys' way. More F1 My Team, and also more preview and predictions as we are rounding off the back end of this season now. And of course we've got some reverse races as well to bring your way, because everyone loves the reverse races. Now sadly we haven't done a reverse race for the American Grand Prix, and the reason for that was pretty simple. When it gets to it, the American Grand Prix was just not good to do reverse race, and that's why we've got a second My Team career mode video to bring your way this week. However, next week when we do get to Mexico, I should say, not Miami, the Mexican Grand Prix, we should definitely be back on with the reverse races. Now back to this Grand Prix, and as you can see, we've just spun and we've dropped a lot of places. We've dropped down all the way to P10 here in Melbourne. It's been a bit of a disaster there. We made a mistake. When we exited the pits, we made a mistake. We went wide, and then the next lap we went and we spun it. So yeah, a bit of a disastrous couple of laps there. But as we go to lap 19 now, as you can see, we're getting closer and closer to Magnussen. We're going to go right around the outside. We actually hit the wall there going into the chicane, but we went right around the outside there of Kevin Magnussen. Somehow, even though we did hit the wall, we managed to avoid any damage, and I think the reason for that was because we hit the wall with our tyre. But a brave move there, right around the outside of Kevin Magnussen to take P9, get back up to P9 in this Grand Prix, and we go now to lap 25, and we've closed up to the back of Esteban Ocon. Next up is going to be Esteban Ocon, and we're going to try and find a way past him into turn 3. Can we go down the inside? No, we've got to settle in just behind Esteban Ocon. We've got to try and get P8 in this Grand Prix. It was a disastrous mistake for us, and it has cost us a lot of places. and a lot of time. We should be about P5, but now we're down in P9, and we're going to try and recover and get ourselves up to P8 in this Grand Prix. Can we do it? We are now going to be trying to get past Ocon. We've got the ERS. We're going to go right around the outside. Can we make it stick? Going the long way around the outside, just like we did with Magnussen. Right around the outside, we do make it stick, and through we go past Esteban Ocon, and that is us now up to P8. But Ocon's having none of it. Ocon's going to be trying to come back at us down the inside into the right-hander. Can he make it stick down the inside? No, he can't. He's got to settle in behind us. We did have ever so slight contact there with Ocon, but I don't really think the move was on there with Esteban Ocon. So he didn't get a move stuck down the inside into the right-hander. He sails in behind us, and it's P8 for us now in this Australian Grand Prix. But we are now going to try and get Fernando Alonso, and if we can get Alonso, get ourselves up to P7 in this Grand Prix and salvage something after a dreadful mistake which sees us drop down all the way to P10, but thankfully we recovered to P8. Now can we get Fernando Alonso? Well, as you can see, we did catch him, but we go now to the last lap in the Australian Grand Prix. So here we are now on the last lap. Guys, can we get Fernando Alonso? Smash the like button if you are enjoying this Grand Prix. Here we are now down the second straight. Can we get Fernando Alonso? We're too far back to try and move into turn 3. But if we can get a good exit, maybe, just maybe, we can get him the same way we got Magnussen and the same way we got Esteban Ocon. With a punch of ERS right around the outside into the far chicane. Here we go now. We need to get a good exit from here. We do get a decent exit, and we are going to use a punch of ERS, and we're going to start to reel in Fernando Alonso. We're getting closer and closer and closer to Alonso. Can we do anything about it though? Can we go down the inside? No, we can't. We just got to settle in behind him. But we're going to get the DRS, and if we get a good exit from here with the ERS and the DRS, maybe we can look for a move down the inside. We're going to look to go down the inside on Fernando Alonso. Can we make a stick? Alonso brakes late, and he just brakes a little bit too late. We got caught on the curb, and Alonso with a beautiful defense there right around the outside. He braked late enough. He managed to maintain position from us, and for us it's going to be P8 here in Melbourne. A good recovery from what was a very silly mistake, but we should have been P5 here today instead of P7.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Anthony Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be Mclaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
That's a bit of a disaster for us. Lando Norris then wins the Australian Grand Prix, and I think that might put him back at the top of the Drivers' Championship. It's not a good result for us, but Alain Prost at least did finish second for Renault Pulse, so we will take that. He is getting closer and closer to getting that first victory upon return, and it's going to be a great victory when he does achieve it. But it's P2 for Alain Prost today. So at the end of the Australian Grand Prix, Lando Norris wins the race, Alain Prost in second, Carlos Sainz finishes in third for Ferrari, Charles Leclerc down in fourth place, Sergio Perez in fifth, Hamilton sixth, Alonso in seventh, we finish in eighth, Esteban Ocon in ninth, and Max Verstappen finishes all the way down in P10 in this Grand Prix. And we had 3 DNFs from the Grand Prix: Yuki Tsunoda, Nicholas Latifi, and Pierre Gasly. So in the driver's standings now, it's Lando Norris who's taken the lead of the Drivers' Championship. We are in second place in the Drivers' Championship, and Alain Prost has moved up to third place in the Drivers' Championship, just 10 points off of Lando Norris. And in the Constructors, Pulse Motorsport is leading the Constructors. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you did, as always, please comment, leave a like, and if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.